played only 6 games this year. He had a right rotator cuff strain earlier. The Cardinals pick up running back Michael Carter off waivers today, one day after he was let go by the Jets. Panthers head coach Frank Reich is taking back play calling duties for Sunday's game against the Cowboys. Offensive coordinator Thomas Brown called plays for the last 3 games, with the offense scoring a total of 2 touchdowns in those 3 games.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman. Coming up Thursday, the Browns thought they had their franchise quarterback. But are they just a cursed franchise? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Crawdad, and this is Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. We're having some fun tonight. We're here. We're ready to do our show.
Barely.
Yeah. Barely made it, but we made it. Brian's got us all set up, and we're here to talk some Army Black Knight football. Got to talk a little bit about our win over the Holy Cross Crusaders, and later on in the show, we have the safeties coach calling in at 7:30, and then at 7:15 we have Eric Shipansky, or God, I don't know if I can say his name correctly or not, but he's the media
Crawdad
director.
Once again endearing himself to our guests. Yeah.
Well, hey, Eric's the guy who set up all the interviews we had this year. He's a great guy. We look forward to having him and find out a little bit what you do as the media relations director for Army football. And one little bit of business right off the bat, if you would like to get a $50 gift certificate to Nick's Ristorante, just call the show, 256-576-4977, and give your name to Brian, and you will be the winner.
And once again, previous winners are not eligible.
Thank you, Steve. Previous winners are not eligible, even though I know you're trying to get as much off that tab as you can. So, 17-14 win over Holy Cross. Not what any of us thought we were going to see, but I guess we'll take it, huh?
Well, I predicted about a 3-4 point win, and to get up where we were, 14-0. I think we entered the fourth quarter, and fortunately got a Moretsky field goal to stave off really a comeback by Holy Cross. So, yeah, the fourth quarter was a little frustrating, and especially the way the first half went. Looked like we were firing on all cylinders. But, it takes 60 minutes to win a ball game.
Well, and I think the big point is we won. I think you go back and you look at some of, 2018, we had 11 wins. There's a lot of those games we could have very easily lost, but man, we did what we had to do. Coach Munkin, I think that we've made incremental progress, and I think the team is learning how to win again after a rough patch. And while it wasn't pretty, man, it's a W. You gotta love that.
Yeah, I wholeheartly agree. And you even think about that, earlier on in the season, was this a game we would have won? And I think they maintained their composure. Made the plays when they needed to make the plays in that fourth quarter to hang on to the W. And I'm not sure that would have happened. I think, especially looking at ULM, this is likely another loss early on. But
yeah, no.
and again, credit to Holy Cross. Solid. Top 20 FCS program. So don't want to take anything away from them. And they really put it together in the fourth quarter. And we were playing catch up.
Well, there's also some aspects of the game where I would use the old Maxwell Smart. Missed it by that much.
Yeah.
We had a touchdown, I think it was to Lingenfelter, wide open, nothing between him and the goal line except grass and air, and Daly just missed the pass by just a little bit. And I would have to say, though, hey, credit to the special teams. We've had Coach Saturnio on before, and 2.5 minutes into the game, we do a block punt and scoop and score. And as you mentioned, Steve, Quinn Moretsky he's been our hidden little weapon.
Yeah, he's been money this year. He's just really settled in to his mechanics. I think what's going on between the temples. He is really solid, and it's it's almost okay. It's a foregone conclusion every time he steps onto the field that we're going to come away with 3, and that's a great possession.
Yeah. Got 2 more games.
Oh, come on! See, you can tell you're an early '80s guy. It's but yeah, and not only that, but Cooper Allen had a solid day punting, and not too many games ago that was in question. And then
Colt, the rain really messes him up.
Yeah,
right?
But Cole Talley, I mean, he I don't know what he did. Put a little extra weight on inside of his cleats or whatever, but he is consistently kicking it through the end zone, and that's a great, to be able to take kickoff returns out of the repertoire of the other team.
Oh, he must have taken, to date myself, an underdog super energy pill, because his leg has just been outstanding. Like you said, he's taken it all away. And one thing I really liked, and it's happened this game or the last 2 games, and that's no turnovers. And the first of the year, or first part of the year, we were just eating up with turnovers, and they were eating our lunch. But
yeah, and it's amazing. I threw up those stats on the Facebook page and contrasted the first 6 games with the last couple ones that we've had, and it's been remarkable. And the 2 stats that sort of flipped, those first, 7, 8 games, we were leading the country in fewest penalties and fewest penalty yards. Now all of a sudden we're going off the charts on these penalties. Like in the Holy Cross game, 6 penalties for 68 yards at some critical times, and yet we are averaging +4 in the turnover margin over the last 2 games, and that's been the difference. We've come away with 2 different W's. So it shows me we can maybe overcome those penalties, but we can't overcome a deficit in the turnover margin.
I mean, given the choice between turnovers and penalties, you take turnovers off there every time. But
get the ball back.
Those 6 penalties, I mean, they just seem to occur at the wrong time, right?
Yeah.
They extended drives, they stopped drives. We just don't have the luxury of penalties, right? And when we're playing Army football, no turnovers, no penalties.
Yeah.
Right? And we stay on schedule.
And again, I think this whole final comment, I hate to catch up, but this.
Did you say please? Like you made say to that
waitress?
Please.
No, I made you say please.
But this season has been a reminder of the thin margin we have between a win and a loss, and a winning season and losing seasons. We don't play Army football, minimize those penalties, come out on the plus side on turnover margins, move the chains consistently. If we don't do that, we're suddenly in an uphill battle, and this season has been a case study in that.
No, I'm going to say something now. This is Crawdad's countdown to kickoff. Damn it!
Oh, he's playing the Crawdad card. Pooh.
Now, what I was going to say was like a ghost from the past. We saw a little bit of the quarterback under center during this game. We didn't see a fullback dive, but we saw a little bit of what looked like our triple option. Now, sir, you may speak.
Now, Kate, we have not run the triple option since Monken has been here. We've run a double option, but with the exception of a couple isolated plays, we have not run the triple option. That's people on the Facebook page. Oh, we need to get back to the triple option. Well, yeah, we got to go back quite a few years. But we did get under center. There was a little more of that double option action going in there, sans the fullback element there. But it is nice to see that mix and to make some adjustments. And hopefully, Drew Thatcher going forward is going to be flexible. How do you tailor his overall concept of an offense and tailor it to the talent that he's got on the roster?
Okay, Tom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you mad.
No. I just because I've now picked up on Steve's last comment, because I think what I saw of us getting up under center is, at least I hope it's not us giving up on the offense.
Yeah.
Because I think the offense that Drew brought is, I forgot who it was. Maybe it was quarterback's coach, and asked him what an Army football drive should look like. And it's like everybody's got to touch the ball, right? It's not just the fullback and the quarterback like it's been the last 4 years or last 6 years. we got to get it to all 5 skill players have got to touch the ball, and I just get concerned when we're not doing that. When we only throw the ball 6 times, I hope it's part of the plan and not because we can't execute the offense that we really want to do.
Well, Tom, you got to admit, right now, who all's touching the ball. Bryson Daly, I'd say he's the main part of the offense. He probably has it 70% of the time. Every now and then, Terrell gets involved a little bit on an option, and
no, but I think, and that's the way we did it last year, right? Terrell Robinson, it was primarily the quarterback and a fullback, but getting both ends and getting all 5 skill players to touch the ball, throwing the ball 8-10 yards down the field. We don't have to throw it 30 yards. It's just spreading it around, and that's the way he described how this offense should be. Still smash mouth, still there. I just hope we haven't given up on that idea.
You agree, yeah.
Well, I don't think we have, and I'll tell you one thing we are going to have.
And you base that on what?
I base that on intuition.
Was it the great Karnak? He's gonna.
I hold in my hand the final envelope. Well, hey, Brian, let's go ahead and take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to have Eric Shapinsky here, Director of Communications for Army Football. Get a little insight on what goes on behind the scenes. God, we're lively tonight, aren't we, guys? We'll be back in a minute.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Buongiorno, Tom Chapman from Nick's Ristorante here with Chef Joey Kindred. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey.
Seriously? So what's so great about being chef at Nick's?
Serving award-winning 21-day aged certified Angus beef, fresh seafood, and third-generation Italian family recipes.
That and an awesome owner, right?
So, if I say yes, do I get a raise?
No. What else should people know about Nick?
We showcase local musicians and have a cigar-friendly bar and bistro.
Time to put you on the spot, Chef. What's the phone number?
256-489-8280.
What's the website?
nicksrestaurante.com.
And what are the hours?
Doors open at 5 o'clock, Tuesday through Saturday. Dining room closes at 9. Bar closes depending on volume.
Molto bene, Chef. It's time to say goodbye, Joey.
Goodbye, Joey.
Come on, man.
Okay, how's this? Ciao e buon appetito.
Nice. Horrible accent, but nice. So again, please come see us at Nick's. Can't wait to see you there.
Nick's is for patrons 19 or older.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go higher and go Army.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama. And we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford's Thanksgiving sales event. This is the time of year to give thanks for all the good things in our lives. And at Woody Anderson Ford, we give thanks that you're driving a Ford. Right now, we've got financing as low as 2.9% for up to 60 months on 2023 Explorer and Bronco Sport, plus $1,500 in bonus cash. Even our 2023 F-150 Crew Cab has $1,500 bonus cash and financing as low as 3.9%. And our lease rates are great, too. 2023 Bronco Sport, $389 a month. 23 Explorer, $537 a month. And our 23 F-150 Crew Cab, just $449 a month, plus $3,000 in total trade assistance and red carpet lease cash. These are 36-month leases with $36.95 on Bronco Sport, $49.21 on Explorer, and $51.51 on F-150 due at signing. Zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. These offers end November 30th. Call 539-9441 for complete details. It's Woody Anderson Ford's Thanksgiving sales event, and we hope to see you soon.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Cooler this afternoon with scattered showers in the forecast. Temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 50s. A couple of folks could see the low 60s. We're dropping into the low and mid 50s through the overnight, early Thursday morning. Partly sunny sky Thursday afternoon. Very small opportunity for rain. Many of us stay dry. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 60s. Dropping into the mid 50s overnight, early Friday morning. A mostly cloudy sky Friday afternoon. A couple of scattered showers are going to be possible. Temperatures climbing into the mid 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. Before we bring our first guest on, I'd like to mention a little bit about Nick's Ristorante, which, as I say, is a driver and a pitching wedge south of the intersection of Bailey, Cove, and Weatherly. This week, their special is Chopini, which is an Italian fish stew that originated in Monterey, California. And if you don't get a chance to go to Monterey, go to Nick's. It is awesome. I've had it down there before, and I'll be there Saturday having it myself. Our first guest tonight is Eric. Eric, I'm going to try not to butcher your name. Eric Shapinski, the Director of Communications for Army Football. Eric, how did I do? Did I get it right?
Bill, you did great. Eric Shapinski, that is absolutely correct. Thanks for having me on. We've been working together here for the last couple years, so excited to chat with you guys for a few minutes tonight.
Well, and we wanted to talk to you to get a little bit of behind-the-scenes look at some of the stuff that goes on in Army football. Tell us briefly what it is you actually do for the football team.
Yeah, sure. So serving as the Director of Athletic Communications, Director of Football Communications. So basically, in my role, I'm the media liaison between the players and coaches and then all media. So any kind of interview requests for Coach Munkin, other assistant coaches, and then all our players working closely with the media to get their interviews scheduled, much like how we do, booking interviews for you guys weekly, or if it's national media, the weekly TV network, whether it's CBS Sports Network, ESPN, and just trying to facilitate those interviews and obviously showcase our coaches and players in the best media light possible. Aside from interviews, other things I do, obviously I handle like all the stats and written statistical information weekly on all our players and coaches as well.
Wow. That sounds like you're a busy man. So we got Army Navy in not too long. I imagine your role shifts into overdrive. What does the ramp up to Army Navy look like for you?
Yeah, sure. So each year looks a little different. Last year, this is my second year with the Army football program. Last year and then this year, every year when Army Navy comes, it's just it ramps up, and it's it's still one game, but it feels like you're doing coverage for about 10 games combined. So kind of already, we have Coastal this week, but you're already kind of looking ahead and at least in my world, planning for, interviews and different features of just how many different, outlets want to cover the Army-Navy game. Obviously, that's kind of like our Super Bowl. So already kind of planning ahead with CBS and some other outlets on some feature stories and interviews that they want to, showcase and accomplish. But then on top of that, as you guys know, the Army-Navy uniform reveal and things of that nature coming up as well, with just all the planning of, representing a division in the Army and things like that. There's just so much more that goes into Army-Navy. There's just a lot of different avenues that you got to plan for.
So following up to that, a couple of years ago, CBS did must have been a 3 or 4 minute intro to the game. It was this historical thing with the families from like the 40s. Does CBS work with you and with the other academy, whatever their name is?
The boat school?
The boat school.
The academy that shall not be mentioned.
That's good.
Do they work with y'all in developing a telecast strategy, or because they
it kind of
go ahead.
Yeah, it kind of goes both. It kind of goes both ways. It really depends on, I guess, what stories or, notes there are on the team for that year, or kind of what their ideas are. So it's kind of like a pitch and catch where they might present me with some ideas, and, they'll be like, hey, we want to do a story on, X, Y, and Z. And then we kind of just work through that to see if that's, feasible or not. Or they, coming into it, they might be looking for stories where then I pitch them, 2, 3 ideas, and are like, hey, this guy on the team, his just whatever stories
right.
or the storylines of like this, he's related to so-and-so who, used to play at Navy or used to play at Army, and his dad played in the Army-Navy game, or, that's kind of where I come in to try to help find those parallels to help, make these stories happen and, showcase some of the real cool stories that, the game behind the game, so to speak. So we're kind of in that process now with them, just trying to figure out, different stories and different things they want to highlight for this year's game.
Well, hey, Eric, one real good story you could turn them on to are 3 grads who have been doing an Army football show for the last 13
like a
years.
Self-serving
Wow, that was Bill, get up off your knees. Stop it.
Wait, let me ask you this, Eric. What led you to Army? I know you're not a military background guy, so how did you end up at the U.S. Military Academy?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, obviously, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Grew up in a Cleveland Browns household. My dad was, a huge Cleveland Browns fan. He's still a season ticket holder of them to this day. So just kind of grew up just immersed from a young age, going to probably Browns tailgates when I was too young, when I was 3, 4 years old with my dad. Just always going down to their games. Just always grew up loving football. Played high school football, and then, going into college, I knew I wanted to do something, in the sports field. Didn't know exactly, what that would be, what specific avenue of sports, but I knew I wanted to be around some sports, football specifically. And then I kind of found the stat. I kind of always had a niche for, stats and researching stats and kind of, all that kind of stuff. So that kind of led me to do some media relations work. And, long story short, my first internship out of college, a few years ago, I interned with the Cincinnati Bengals. My first job out of college doing sports media relations. And after that year, the Chicago Bears hired me. And I went to Chicago for 2 years, and I worked in the Chicago Bears communications department. And actually, after 2 years with the Chicago Bears, I took a job with the Green Bay Packers. So I saw both sides of the famous NFC North rivalry.
Wow.
And I obviously, after 4 years of being in the NFL, I had the chance to work for 3 different teams. Absolutely loved it. Just kind of grinded my way through the ranks of the NFL. It's obviously a very competitive field. And you just kind of got to pay your dues, like a lot of, industries, coaching or whatever. And I was kind of just ready to kind of, ride it out, whether it was with the Packers for more years or a different team came calling, or whatever the case may be. But I was kind of doing that. And after 4 years of experience, a couple college teams reached out just with my NFL experience and asked, like, hey, you want to have a higher role, with some college teams? So I interviewed with a couple college teams just to kind of see what it was about. Those other college teams, I won't name them, those didn't work out. And then all of a sudden, similar token, kind of Army had their football job open. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Let me check this out and see what that's about. And, they brought me out here. We interviewed, and, I kind of fell in love with it right away. And, I've been here now for 2 years, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Wow.
So have you been able to get your dad out to West Point?
Yes, he was out. He's been out a couple times. Let's see. Last year he came out when we beat ULM, and then he came to the Army-Navy game last year. So he was 2-0 going into this year, and then he came out to the UMass game a couple weeks ago. But so he still has a winning record. But he's 2-1.
That's right. Bring him around more.
In attendance. Yeah. So he's doing pretty good. So I guess I'll bring him to another one.
Yeah, outstanding.
Bring him to Navy.
So what was maybe your biggest adjustment, biggest surprise in settling into your role at Army?
Yeah, so obviously, I would say on the football side of things, I think Coach Monken does a really good job of running things like a very high-end professional organization would. So like from the football aspect of things, there's a lot of comparisons to how like an NFL team would run to how our organization runs. The biggest differences are, though, obviously our guys are, student cadet athletes, that their schedules are just so much more demanding where, they're in class all day. They have military regiments and, things they need to do of that nature where, coming from the NFL, those guys just eat, sleep, think NFL football all day long. Practice, 4 o'clock comes, they go home to their, wives and families at home. Where here it's, school, military football, around the clock 24/7. So I think kind of navigating and learning some of the military things and some of the things that they have to go through on a daily basis, and then how it affects me, whether it's, planning interviews with them because they are still cadets, and some of the regulations that they need to meet to, whether it's classroom stuff or stuff to remain eligible on the field, just some of the nuances like that I needed to kind of figure out. Where in the NFL, it's, whoever, when I was with the Bears, Mitch Trubisky was the quarterback at the time, $1 million players and quarterbacks, it was just a different, world coming from that, but just things like that. But overall, I think it's been a good transition. It's just kind of a learning curve when you're coming to a place like this, obviously.
Well, Eric, hey, we're our arch enemy in the talk radio is the clock, and we'd like to thank you for coming on tonight. And also, I'd like to thank you for being a big part of our show this year, behind the scenes, and making sure we had a coach every week. And that has really been great. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get Coach Monken before Army-Navy, December 6th. So
yeah, let's do that. Obviously, now you put the pressure on. So now, if Coach Monken's not secured, all the listeners will know whose fault it was. So,
that's right. You can't say we didn't give you advance notice. So.
Yeah, so we will definitely plan that. And I enjoyed talking to you guys tonight, and we'll definitely have to do it again next year.
Eric, thank you a lot.
Eric,
really
thank you much.
Appreciate it.
And Brian, we're going to go ahead and take our break.
Care.
And when we come back, I do believe we're going to have Coach Verpeel on, the safeties coach for the Army Black Knights. Thanks again, Eric. Glad to talk to you tonight. Very fascinating. We'll be back in a few.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do after paint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Buongiorno. Tom Chapman from Nick's Ristorante here with Chef Joey Kindred. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey.
Seriously? What's so great about being chef at Nick's?
Serving award-winning 21-day age certified Angus beef, fresh seafood, and third-generation Italian family recipes.
That and an awesome owner, right?
So, if I say yes, do I get a raise?
No. What else should people know about Nick?
We showcase local musicians and have a cigar-friendly bar and bistro.
Time to put you on the spot, Chef. What's the phone number?
256-489-8280.
What's the website?
NicksRestaurante.com.
And what are the hours?
Doors open at 5 o'clock, Tuesday through Saturday. Dining room closes at 9. Bar closes depending on volume.
Molto bene, Chef. It's time to say goodbye, Joey.
Goodbye, Joey.
Come on, man.
Okay, how's this? Ciao e buon appetito.
Nice. Horrible accent, but nice. So again, please come see us at Nick's. Can't wait to see you there.
Nick's is for patrons 19 or older.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Cooler this afternoon with scattered showers in the forecast. Temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 50s. A couple of folks could see the low 60s. We're dropping into the low and mid 50s through the overnight, early Thursday morning. Partly sunny sky Thursday afternoon. Very small opportunity for rain. Many of us stay dry. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 60s. Dropping into the mid 50s overnight, early Friday morning. A mostly cloudy sky Friday afternoon. A couple of scattered showers are going to be possible. Temperatures climbing into the mid 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Listen each Friday to the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show, powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, third segment of Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. Tonight, joined by Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board, and Tom Economy, also known as Colonel Tom. Before we get to our next interview, just a quick note about North Alabama Mortgage. You heard Tom Abraham mention it during the commercial break, but folks, do not let an interest rate scare you away from doing something with the equity in your home right now. Brian and his team can be very creative, and they can help you do a lot of stuff with getting rid of some consumer debt or refinancing or whatever you need to do. So NorthAlabamaMortgage.com, Brian Hammaker and his team. And right now we have on the safeties coach back for his second tour of duty at the Academy, Coach Danny Verpeel. Coach, are you with us?
Yeah, guys, how y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Hear you great. Thank you.
Hear you loud and clear. Well, hey, we are glad that you could take a little bit of time to be with us tonight. So tell us a little bit about your duties as the coach of the safeties.
Well, I got here. I got a good group, and I got to manage them. And thankfully, I got Q Hammonds and some guys who have some experience. And I got my recruiting area, and have my role as assistant coach Woody and Coach Munkin, and doing that. And we're just trying to do whatever I can to help win and get our guys prepared. So we all play. We all have our own role here, so it's great to be back at West Point, though.
Fantastic. So what was it about your first tenure at West Point? I think you were in the quality role that made you think, okay, when this came open, this is something I wanted to go back to.
Yeah. So when I came here, Coach Monken's first 2 years, and I was on the offense side of the ball, like a quality control, and something happened with one of the coaches, so I got put on the road recruiting. I got promoted for that season. A great experience, and then I came back off. And then another coach got sick, and I got to go on the road again. So, I had that experience of recruiting at West Point and the whole country. And then, I wanted to get back on defense. And so when I left, I went to Valdosta State and Kennesaw State. And I would come up to probably West Point maybe once every year or every other year and stay in touch with the coach, because Coach Monken and everyone, just because I know this place is special and it's different. So if it ever came open, I was always eyeing it. And it worked out. It all happened for a reason, and I'm very blessed to be back.
Outstanding.
So, Coach, you got safeties this year. So what are some of the things that have been most notable for you from your group this year? Best stories, people exceeding your expectation?
I got a great group of kids, and they're fun to be around, and they're normal kids. They're this summer, they all went down to New Jersey together and all went out and did a group activity. And they're just a really good group to be around. Some veteran players and some younger players, and they're all selfless. They get along and take care of each other. And I know the one kid said I'm his fourth safety coach, and I was laughing. And but they've done a good job of keeping the tradition of how things go and expectations. Kind of helped me out as well too. So I'm really fortunate about this group. They do like to have fun. I told them we'd beat Air Force. I said, whatever food you want, you can order. We got it. Ruth Chris, anything. So,
so what did they get?
What'd they get?
Well, I guess I had Fogo de Chao ready. They said, Coach, we want chili. I said, chili?
Oh,
okay,
man.
Sounds great. Save you a lot of money.
That will indeed save you a little money.
Aim low.
Hey, Coach, one thing I've noticed this year, I don't have a stat on it, but it seems to me like we've had more of a ball-hawking defensive backfield this year that really has been good at picking off passes. Is that just my imagination, or is that really a fact?
No, I think the defensive backs do a really good job and attack the ball, spread around, and the corners have done a really good job. And Coach Dixon and Coach Woody have mixed things up, and it's a good group of defensive backs here. And a lot different than when I was here the first year. It's just a different caliber of athlete and type of kids, and they're good football players. So they've done a good job. We need to get some more picks, though. But, I do think they have
hopefully this weekend.
Never can have too many. There have been several positions on the roster. There's been some churn due to injuries and other things like that. But you've been real fortunate, with the exception of one game. Hammonds and DiDomenico have started every single game. How has that kind of stability helped you in that role?
It's been good, just experience and all the checks and things that go on. And Casey Larkin's gotten some reps, and the younger guys have been getting reps and are ready when their number's called. Aaron Bibbins has gotten some as well. And then we have some other guys, Gavin Shields, Tommy Zatello. They're getting reps and they're ready, but they have their packages and whatnot. But it's been very fortunate to have those guys play, just because the experience is something that's hard to duplicate, especially with all the offenses we've seen this year and the amount of stuff. If you don't have a lot of experience and don't know the checks and all that stuff, it'd be tough. So I'm very, very lucky.
So, Coach, looking forward to Coastal Carolina. I mean, whoever they end up starting at quarterback is they can very athletic and they can run a lot. Having a mobile quarterback, how does that challenge your safeties?
I like quarterbacks who can't run. They're a lot of fun. Well,
there's no Dan Marinos on the schedule.
Yeah, those days are over, right? In coverage, you have to account for them and to be able to dissect, run pass or a zone read option play, you got to be able to decipher, and you kind of go into a different world, and so it's challenging. You got to have really good eyes, and you can't just play the pass, and you have to account for them. So they do a really good job at spreading the ball around and throwing it, and then running some option stuff, and mixing it up. Trying to compartmentalize that is tough, and certain calls like, hey, if they run the ball, you got to look out for this or this. You're weak at. So it's a challenge, definitely, with a running quarterback. They're never fun when they just tuck it and run, and you can't tackle them like the guy from LSU. That's never fun. But.
No. I don't think anybody in the country's tackled his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think Bama's still trying to get him too. They say we'll just take him out and we'll solve that problem.
Well, hey, Coach, we were having a little discussion over dinner before the show, and just want to get your take on it, on the technique for pass coverage. Is the technique nowadays, is it to turn and look for the ball, or is it to keep your eyes on the receiver and try to knock the ball away after it hits in his hands? What's the preferred method of technique today?
I think it depends if you're in zone coverage or man coverage. And if you're beat or if you're close to the guy, if you're beat, you got to put your head down and try to punch through the hands. If you can get in phase and get a feel for it and get your head around, I think that's ideal, but it's not very easy to do. It's a tough skill set. So you want both. I tell our guys they can get in phase, try to get their head back around because you won't get the PI calls.
Yeah,
you want to make a play on it.
That's-
A lot depends on the coverage and where they're at in the man or zone or behind or on top. So I'd love to get eyes on the ball, but that's not always the case.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the challenge that Coastal Carolina's quarterbacks present, but they've also got a very talented running back, Braden Bennett, who's rushed for 371 yards at a 4.6 yard clip. But he's also a threat out of the backfield, catching passes, averaging about 10 yards a pass. How are you game planning for him?
He's a really talented player, and they use him well, and they block up front. And they'll quick motion and flare him out of the backfield. And if you don't adjust, they'll dump it off to him and get you blocked on the perimeter. And so you have to be accounted for in all your calls and be aware of that. And they do a really good job. So everyone just has to do their job within the scheme of the defense and understand where they fit. And then they got to know where the running back is in certain sets to try to compartmentalize things. And Coastal does a good job of hiding them and moving them and motion and all that stuff to try to window dress and to try to get you looking in the wrong places.
Well, that's certainly something we hope doesn't happen this weekend.
Yeah.
We want our safeties to be looking at the right place at the right time and get those interceptions. Tom, would you not agree?
I would, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, one other question. So first part of the season really struggled. We're on the downside of the turnover margin, but over the last two games, we are a +4 per game average. What has led to the turnaround on those turnovers?
I think it's been a point of emphasis and at practice and guys trying to attack the ball and understand when they can go take a shot at it and playing fast and having some confidence, I think is part of it. And really, having those opportunities to go attack it. Making, like I said, it's got to be a point of emphasis. You got to swarm the ball, and good things happen when you run the ball and tee off. And guys, I think they're more confident and just in the right places to go make plays.
Well, Coach, you're up there and we're not. I know we've had some crappy weather for a couple of games. What are we going to be seeing this weekend? Will the rains come a-tumbling down, or will we be playing in good weather?
They said there's a chance of rain. It could come Friday night or it could come Saturday. So I hope it doesn't rain, but heck, who knows? Maybe the guys from the beach don't like the cold rain, and it'll do us a favor. So.
The guys from the beach. There you go.
Well, we'll let those guys from the beach get a little taste of Ranger sunshine, as we call it. And, Coach, we really do appreciate your time tonight, and I hope you're liking your second tour at West Point. It's a great place. We're all three awful fond of it, and good luck this weekend. no matter who they have. Well, are all three of the quarterbacks about the same skill set, or is there one that really strikes the fear of God into the team?
Well, McCall, he's out.
Oh, good.
I think number 12 is going to get the start, and he's a good player. They're all good and very similar. They in the system they do. So we have to be sound in our defense, and it does matter, but we got to be able to do our job. You know, they're all very similar and very good. So we got to just execute. So we can't even worry. It doesn't matter who's playing for us, really.
There you go.
Well, Coach, thank you for your time. Beat the Chanticleers, and we really appreciate talking to you.
Thank you,
Brian,
Coach.
we'll go ahead and take a break. And
Thanks,
get out of
Coach.
here.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you much. This is Crawdad. We'll be back in a few for our final segment.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here to enjoy another great football season with y'all. And guess what? The salmon are running, so make sure you try our delicious lemon garlic salmon. And for you land lovers, try our sizzling char grilled flat iron Callaway steak, complemented with our special shrimp etouffee. And you'll definitely want to tackle our Alabama hot chicken, smothered in our zesty and tangy, immune-boosting special Alabama hot sauce. Baumhauer's legendary fun and legendary food.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case.
And we'll take care of it.
The Lackey Law Firm, 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show each Sunday morning at 11, presented by Freedom Marine Center on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the final segment of Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. It is our last, as I would say, regular season show. Just a reminder to our hundreds of thousands of listeners out there, we will not be back here on the air until December 6th. That is the Wednesday before Army-Navy. We look forward to you tuning back in then. But now we got to talk a little bit about the Chanticleers. of Coastal Carolina. The 4-6 Army Black Knights go against the 7-2 Chanticleers. By the way, Chanticleer is a rooster, and that's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, they are very balanced offense. Throw the ball well, they run the ball well, and as the coach pointed out, they have a great, scheme there to hide certain features to draw your attention away. Very capable offensive staff, but I personally feel the reason the point spread is only at 4 is because McCall's out. And so I think that's a real feather in our cap that we're going to because you look at the stats, the accuracy, the completions per yard, they drop significantly when McCall's not on the field.
Yeah, I mean, we had him, what was it, last year that we played him at Coastal Carolina?
Yeah, we opened last season.
Yeah, no, he was good. I think they're going to be a challenge. We talked about it a little bit before. We just need to play Army football. Coach Monken puts the schedule up every week, and the opponent is Army, right? There's nothing that they have where they're going to outmatch us. It's going to be a challenge. We have to play disciplined football. Coach talked about it, making the reads and everything on defense, playing flawless on offense, but. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I think it's probably going to be a little low scoring. I don't think either one of us are going to roll it up, but should be a good game.
Well, as a former Alabama coach Mike DuBose would say, in my best DuBose voice, there's both an opportunity and a challenge. So it's an opportunity for us to go 5-6 and maybe keep our slim to middling hopes for a bowl game, but Grayson McCall, their quarterback you mentioned, he's the real deal.
Yeah, he'll play on Sundays.
He'll play on Sundays. He's thrown for over 10,000 yards in his career, 88 touchdown passes, and we're certainly glad he will not be on the field. Nice to have that confirmed by the coach. But the Chanticleers, Steve, you mentioned they score 30 points a game. They give up 21. We average about 20 points a game, so I don't know. I'm hoping that our defensive backs can keep their receiving core in check. And also, I hate it when they have a running quarterback because, as we saw last week with Mr. Sluka from Holy Cross, he got 170 yards rushing against us. We couldn't seem to stop him.
Yeah, but Holy Cross was putting 40 points a game on the board, and we held them, right? I mean, we give up big plays, and traditionally we have bent but not broken, and I think he's gonna put some numbers up. The question is are they gonna break the big play for scores?
Well, we don't know about that, and the one thing also that we saw a little bit of last week was Terrell Robinson. He had 9 rushes for 45 yards, a 19-yard touchdown. He looks as quick as a hiccup. And Steve, what does your green sheet say? Who gets the edge off that?
Well,
hold it up so the folks can see what we're talking about. There's that green sheet.
We got Coastal Carolina over here. We got Army over here. So just a glance here.
It's high tech.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Hey, Ma. I'm on TV.
But it's I mean, statistically, you'd have to tip the hat to Coastal Carolina. At the same time, much like Air Force came in here and widely favored in that, but they had played one of the weakest schedules in the FBS. Now, I'm not going to say the Coastal Carolina is quite that weak, but they have played a substantially weaker schedule than Army. So it's you got to take those stats with a grain of salt when you do that comparison. But there are some vulnerabilities there. They don't do well on 4th down. They don't do when they're working with a short field in the red zone, and we've got to exploit those kind of things. That bend but don't break. If we can get them into the red zone, hold them to 3, I like our chances on that as opposed to giving up those big plays. And I think the other thing that a lot of people on the Facebook page, especially if you look beyond the current game, don't do that. No, we can do that. The players can't do that, but we can do that.
We can do anything we want
to.
And
I think the importance of this game is the outcome of this game will be the last thing the team remembers for the next 3 weeks going into and preparing for Navy. And it would be great to have a solid game under the belt, to have yet another upset and to really build on that confidence for the next 3 weeks. I'm really hoping we turn in a solid effort.
Or you could go with the Air Force philosophy, where we get our butts kicked for 2 weeks and then we show up and show up to Navy and kick their butt. But no, I agree. I think talked about it a little bit earlier. I think we're making incremental progress. I'd like to see us put it all together and play a full game, so we have that momentum of 4 quarters of executing Army football going into that 3-week break before Navy.
Yeah, and the final thing I'll say, just looking at the stats and assessing the teams, offensively, again, Coastal Carolina very strong, but they are middle of the pack, right in the top of the bell curve in the FBS defensively. So I think if we can put it together, they've worked on some individual things, bring it all together, play 4 quarters of offense. I like our chances to put points on the board.
And no turnovers. And we'll take those old Chanticleers and Maddox, their Rooster mascot, and beat the tar out of them. Let's have a prediction, Tom.
I'd say Army 24-14.
Steve.
Ooh, 24. Wow, 10-point man. I'm gonna pick Army 21-18.
I'm going to say 24-21 Army. I think Quinn Maretsky's going to do us a big favor again as the unsung hero he's been. Tom, how many days?
Bill, there's 24 and a butt days until Army beats the hell out of Navy at Gillette Field in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Hey, and folks, we will be back with you on December 6th, and somewhere in the interim there, go get yourself a new mortgage, refinance your house, and then go have a drink and a steak at Nick's.
Well, it don't get any better than that.
Don't get any better than that. And if you need something hard figured out, go see Joe Ross and Higher Echelon. Those folks are another good sponsor, and they figure out hard
smart people figuring out hard things. Yes, there you go.
So, again, you can listen to the Army game on Zone 2 on this station with the Army broadcast crew. We'd love to have you listen to that. And as we get out of here, one thing we always say, no matter where you are and no matter what you're doing, remember that there's a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine somewhere standing a watch so you can enjoy the life that you have today. And we lost 5 heroes this week. Our soldiers are still in harm's way. My condolences and prayers to the family of those soldiers. And let's go ahead and get out of here. Go Army.
Beat Navy.
Talk to you December 6th.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference?